microphones. Addressing journalists, Majority Leader Mahama Yarga said the incident is a blot on Ghana's democracy. Take a listen.
Where the minority, let's hear from Mahama Yarga now.
Things that we are seeing are being projected to the rest of the country and to the world. The whole world knows that Ghana has one of the most beautiful and functioning democracies. The Ghana Parliament remains an envy of many parliaments. We've had an election that was so beautiful, the losing side conceded, and the whole world acclaimed us, and we could see that by the number of heads of states who came to witness the transition. So please, let us not destroy that image, that enviable image that we have carved for ourselves to the rest of the world as a beautiful, functioning democracy. I am pleading with all sides. I am pleading with all sides. As you can see, we would have continued, but logistically, it is no longer possible to continue. Logistically, the microphones have all been destroyed. And you know that with the microphones destroyed, it will be difficult for the media to carry the proceedings live on their various stations. So they may carry the image, but they cannot carry the voice. And vetting is about assessing and evaluating the nominee. As it is now, we in this room may be able to assess and evaluate them by hearing them, but the rest of the country will not be able to do that. The technical staff have closed and they have gone home. And so there's no way, even if they were here, the destruction of some of the machines here cannot be easily replaced tonight. So for that reason, it is practically impossible to continue with the vetting. So I'm pleading with all sides. I'm pleading with all sides that we should bring proceedings to an end. And tomorrow, given that the facilities here have been destroyed, by morning we will designate a new location within the House to continue with the vetting of the nominees. But before I end, let me caution everybody that, you see, all of us have supporters out there. All of us need to satisfy our supporters. And so, when we are vetting, let's make good use of the time allocated to us so that we can be efficient, we can vet as many people as possible so that we can have the ministers at the various ministries functioning and delivering with the commitment that Ghanaians endorsed at the polls by the way he voted. So I am pleading with members of the committee. And I will have discussions with my colleague, the minority leader, so that we can come to some conclusion on the time allocation and how long it will take to investigate nominees. So please, I'm pleading with you. Because what we have done today, we have seriously damaged our reputation as a family. We have seriously damaged our reputation as a family. It will take us a lot of effort to redeem ourselves. And I know that Ghanaians can forgive and they will forgive us. We are going forward. Let us be decent when we are doing the best.
If all things being equal, the vetting will continue today at 10 a.m. and the new venue is the Speaker's office, and some 7 ministers designate will be vetted this morning. And so if you actually missed the confrontation, go on to our socials, TV3 Ghana. We've uploaded it there and just watch it if you missed it. Away from that, senior high school student whose West African Senior School Certificate Examination WASSCE results had been withheld have expressed gratitude and elation following an order for the results to be released. Earlier, the High Court held that the West African Examination Council (WAEC) failed to state the alleged malpractices or examination irregularities indulged in by the student and ordered for the results to be released. This is a report by Lord Edu Asare.
4 students representing 10,520 whose results were withheld filed an application seeking the court to order WAEC to release their results. Lawyer for the applicant, Martin Kwebu, argued that the action of the examination body infringed on the rights of the students since WAEC failed to explicitly indicate the reason for withholding the results. He noted that by failing to release the results, many students have been deprived the opportunity to go to school since a number of tertiary institutions have closed their admission portals. But counsel for the examination body, led by Melissa Amatefio, vehemently opposed the application. She indicated that WAEC was not responsible for releasing results which had been withheld pending investigation. She further posited that investigations into the malpractice takes a while since it was an administrative process. In his judgment, presiding judge Ali Baba Abature indicated that denying the students their results was unfair since WAEC had not outlined the alleged malpractices the students had been accused of. He therefore ordered for the immediate release of the documents. Counsel for the students, lawyer Martin Kwebu, spoke to TV3.
The way WAEC has conducted itself in this case has been very unreasonable. You know, these are young people, future leaders who need to go to school. You withhold their results and you don't have any cogent reasons. You just use some general terms, irregularities in one breath. Then another case you say malpractice, okay, flip-flopping. This is not the way to run an administrative body. Article 23 and 296 of our Constitution 1992 seriously frown on such behavior.
Some students shared their enthusiasm.
On all the forth and backs in court, finally the verdict was declared based on the details we found at court and the failure of WAEC not to get any evidence against us, which we did not engage in any examination malpractice, you understand? Thereby we win the case today. So honestly speaking, we are much grateful and very happy because expecting to Monday, we need to have our results released for us.
When my results came and I got withheld, I got like 3 withheld papers. So I was broken. I was so sad. I was worried because I didn't understand why they withheld our results.
From the court proceedings and everything, I think firstly we should be grateful to the lawyers who led us to make sure that everything, the right thing was to be done. So we are just hoping by the end of today or probably tomorrow, the grades or the withheld papers will be released, and that would call for more celebration.
With this being done, it paves the way for the students to now apply to their various tertiary universities or tertiary institutions of their choice. Lord Edu Asare, TV3 News, Accra High Court.
And now, worried students who had gathered at the secondary office of WAEC on Thursday burst into spontaneous cheers upon hearing the news that the High Court had ruled their withheld exam results should be released. Rama Smith reports that earlier in the morning, tensions were high as parents and their wards struggled to meet the WAEC directive of getting their statements taken.
Excitement as these students hear about the fact that a High Court has directed WAEC to release the results to them. As at the time that we got here around 2 p.m., they were not aware. So they were going on with the statements that are being taken by WAEC officials. These students are coming from Western North, and you can imagine the number of hours that they had to travel to be here at 10 a.m. and as at 2 p.m. they are still here. So the challenges that they've gone through and the relief that this is coming with.
I feel happy that the High Court said the WAEC should release a results for us, but I'm feeling bad because for that time I can't go to school, so I'm feeling bad.
I feel very excited
because as I've heard that our results are going to be released, then it means I'm going to continue medication. So I'm overwhelmed.
I carry away from Bogo, so nothing happened, but I'm here. And coming here was something like I was sad. Intimabati was a results will be released in mind. I'm very happy and so much excited.
I've been speaking to some of the parents.
We feel comfortable that they should release the results. In fact, it's far better than wasting our life in this very scorchy sun.
Yes, mama, for ya basa. I didn't see him calling Yammy or Madame. Just saw me for ya dear money in engineer among school. Because Yaboka be a banasa de be affiliate. It's about we are high.
About 9 hours from Sefio so to this place. So we are now happy that the directives has come that they should release them. So we're happy.
Earlier in the morning, it was a chaotic scene here as they had invited thousands of students. Ghana Secondary Technical School alone had more than 1,000 students with their parents, and there wasn't any arrangement to get them chairs or canopies to sit under. And apart from that, the students were being invited into the halls without their parents accompanying them. So tempers were quite high when we came here this morning. I've been trying to speak to officials of WAEC here, but they tell me that they are mourning. Apparently this morning, in the heat of what was happening here, one of their officials collapsed and was rushed to the hospital and unfortunately lost his life. So they are mourning and would not want to speak to the media. But what I've picked is that, the issue about the court ruling came earlier this afternoon, and they are yet to be officially notified about it. So they continue to take the statement of the students. Erama Smith, TV3 News, 2nd day.
Well, if you just tune in, you're still watching the morning news here on TV3. In more news this morning, Minister Designate for Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation, Sam George says the NDC government plans to implement a new SIM card registration process to address issues encountered during the previous exercise. And according to him, appearing before Parliament's Appointments Committee, he noted that the new exercise will be a proper SIM registration where registrants would not have to go through stress.
Sense is the reason why I'll say that. Because the actions that happened were very at par with common sense and logic. We've got a National Identification Authority that holds and sits as our national repository of biometric data. I think it was wickedness of the highest order to subject Ghanaians to long hours of queues, taking away productive man hours affecting our economy, to go and queue again and resubmit biometrics, simply because egos could not be managed. We will do a proper SIM re-registration again, but this time nobody's going to queue, because common sense will prevail, expertise will prevail, and logic will work. The MNOs hold a certain set of data. We would use technology to cross-reference that against the NIA's database and all biometric databases, and only instances where there are disparities would require you visiting an MNO shop. Because today, as we speak, the telcos cannot truly verify who is holding their SIM card. And it even is in their own benefit for us to do this process and do it properly. Thank you very much.
Well, let's know what you make of this very decision and other stories that have been aired so far. Go to Facebook, we're live. Engage us, TV3 Ghana, your comments, observations, and what you want us to know. We'll surely read them and share them to the rest of the world. Let's still stay on the vetting, because the Minister Designate for Communications and Digital Technology and Innovation, Samuel George, has told the Appointments Committee of Parliament that the Anti-LGBTQ bill will be reintroduced in Parliament. He says if the bill has to be reintroduced by him again, he will do that. Take a listen.
Excellency President Mahama spoke immediately after his swearing in when he met with the Catholic Bishops' Conference. I wish to quote what he said, parts of what he said, with your permission. So the convention is that all bills that are not assented to before the expiration of the life of Parliament expires. And so that bill effectively is dead. It has expired. I don't know what the promoters of the bill intend to do, but I do think that we should have a conversation on it again. I repeat that again for emphasis. President Mahama said, I do think that we should have a conversation on it again, so that all of us, if we decide to move that bill forward, move it forward with a consensus. My position is that that bill is a critical part of our national life. Ghanaian family values, our children's innocence must be protected. In this 9th Parliament, that bill will be reintroduced, either as a private member's bill or as government's bill. I will work with government. If it's government's bill, if it's not and it's my bill, I will bring it back again, because my chiefs seated here, the chiefs from Ningo and Pram, supported me in bringing that bill in the 8th Parliament. They've asked me to reintroduce it in the 9th Parliament. I will do so. Thank you.
Well, we have excerpt of yesterday's vetting, and so go to our socials, TV3 Ghana, and watch these interviews. And now President John Dramani Mahama has sworn in the 3rd set of ministers at the Jubilee House. All 14 ministers were approved by Parliament this week.
Our quest to install the leanest and most efficient government in the history of the Fourth Republic continues unabated. We've gathered here again today to take a step closer towards this objective with the swearing in of an additional batch of 14 ministers of state. Since assuming office 3 weeks ago, I've been guided by one desire, and that is only to give the people of Ghana a government that is fit for purpose and is able to work in their best interest. Such a government must therefore naturally have men and women of proven ability and integrity. That's why it is fair to say that the persons who have taken up positions in this government have done so on merit and are well placed to deliver in the respective roles that they have been assigned. Let me take this opportunity to state that it shall be the policy of this government to ban the issuance of leases for mining in all forest reserves. We shall also move promptly to revoke all leases issued for the same purpose under the previous government. In addition, let me state categorically that this government has not given any person or group of persons any authority to carry out any form of mining in these forest reserves as recently reported. I urge the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Minister for the Interior, Attorney General and Minister for Justice to take immediate steps to ensure the arrest and prosecution of any persons or group of persons engaged in this illegality. And let me sound biblical here. Go ye forth and put in your very best effort to help us reset this country and make it the Ghana we all want. I thank you for your attention.
Away from the presidency, members of Parliament have proposed a resolution to address post-election violent and forceful takeovers of state institutions by party sympathizers during change in power. Speaking on the floor of Parliament on Thursday, lawmakers from both sides of the House called for a bipartisan approach to end illegal disruptions in public services and election-related violence. Christian Yale reports.
The issue of post-election violence as well as forceful takeovers of state institutions, which has spanned several administrations under the Fourth Republic, has been condemned by both sides of Parliament. On the minority side, the leader, Alexander Afenyomarkin, together with other MPs, including the MP for Damongo, Samuel Abujinapo, agreed that there must be a public inquiry into the matter. Also, they want a resolution sent to the executive to ensure that proper actions are taken to tackle the menace.
I would want this House to take a strong stance to ferry a resolution to the executive to the effect that all must be done in ensuring that, if possible, a bill is brought to this House for an enactment that will deal with issues such as what has happened in a post-election era.
There was a clash at the Youth Employment Authority today, and the president was being threatened. This matter is a purely, in all forms and shape, squarely a law and order matter.
Meanwhile, the majority leader, Mahama Ayariga, believes that the politicization of the security agencies as well as other state institutions is to blame for the chaos that have been witnessed, especially the rampage that is seen almost every transition period. His side wants a bipartisan approach in dealing with the issue.
Why is it that the youth of this country don't have confidence in the security agencies to do their job? They don't have confidence because in most cases, they see the actors in those security agencies as an extension of the party in power. What we are facing today is a major loss of confidence in institutions that ordinarily should be independent, should be professional, and should be respected.
We cannot resolve this problem without taking a holistic view, without appreciating that it runs deeper than merely citing recent instances to buttress one's arguments.
The Speaker of Parliament, however, blamed MPs for failing to show leadership when it comes to dealing with chaos, especially ones that involves their followers. He says over the period, Ghana has not had a good example to set when it comes to leadership and dealing with post-election crisis. Christian Yali, TV3 News, Parliament House, Accra.
And here in the News Hub, my name is Josh Quinn, and that's how we wrap up the morning news. For more news updates, just log on to our website, it's 3news.com. In a world where you can be anything, just be kind. It costs nothing to be kind. Thanks for watching. It's always a pleasure coming your way. Good morning.
Chamaklo go they watch me say roll out. I told you to stop doing this thing.
This your Harlem Shake is better than what happened in Parliament last night.
Yeah. No, immediately the thing happened. Then Chairman Prosper sent me a long message. I'm going to read it today. And I don't know. I'd been following all the issues, but you want to greet first.
This, no. I mean, today we don't even have time for greetings, so we're just going to go straight to this morning. Okay. And it's not even a question; it's a statement. One word for Parliament. That's all. One word for Parliament.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
One word for Parliament.
Yes, one word. Exactly. One
so
word.
you call.
Yeah, you
your name. Where you're calling from. What's your word?
One word for Parliament, and that's about it.
We have time to play the video before.
And we have a few videos. So guys, if you can help us, yes, if you can help us from the back.
Look, you're looking beautiful.
The damage that has been done. Thank you. The damage that has been done. The aftermath. Listen, the gadgets, everything, the tables, broken legs of the tables, the computers. Listen, the commotion in Parliament yesterday. Anyway, that's it on your screens. Let's take a look and listen. Oh, okay. All right. So this was actually the calm before the storm.
Right.
So this was when they were actually trying to deliberate if they should go ahead with the vetting of Okujeto Ablakwa and then Menta Akando. And this was just a few minutes. Yes, this is just a few minutes before the disruption in Parliament, and it was very unfortunate.
That's right.
What happened. Many people, social media has been awash with comments about exactly what happened in Parliament yesterday, and we just want to throw it to you this morning. Please call and just give us a word to describe what happened in Parliament yesterday. And we've got our very first caller. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Yes, very well, thank you. Your name and where you're calling us from?
This is Sani, calling from Wali Wali.
Okay, Sani, let's hear you.
Okay. So yesterday, what happened, in fact, is a dent of our democracy.
Okay.
It is a dent of our democracy.
All right. Thank you, Sani.
To the extent that our MPs will want to do, this kind of thing, it's an embarrassment to say the least. And for me, they must be made to pay the destruction that they've caused. In fact, this is vigilantism. And they are there passing laws, anti-vigilante laws and all that. And they themselves are engaging in rioting as if they are secondary school children. In fact, they must be made to pay. And for me, I don't want to blame only minority. Even majority, they themselves, they are also part of the situation. Because when you agree that you are going to vet 5 people, I don't think you should be smuggling other people to come and then so that they'll also be vetted. So that's what caused everything. So they must be made to pay the loss of the property.
Okay, Sani, thank you. Sani is blaming both sides, not just one side, but it was supposed to be just one word. Is that even possible on our phone lines? Mejina is here. Hello, good morning, Mejina.
Good morning.
Yes.
Yeah, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Go straight to the point.
My point is, my word that I will choose is coming from Bible.
Okay.
Job chapter 32, verse number 9.
Okay.
It describes this situation as foolishness, unwise, unethical. So this behavior that was being showcased by members of parliament is very uncalled for, very disgraceful, and I can say it's very lunatic behavior.
Okay, Mejina, thank you very much. You've used many words this morning instead of just one, but thank you. We appreciate you calling us this morning.
And the messages are coming. This one is coming from Sakura, and he says, my one word to describe what happened in Parliament yesterday is madness.
Okay.
Madness.
All right.
And then Chairman Prosper says, my one word to describe what happened in Parliament yesterday is silly. Yeah.
Oh. Dizoba Martin Lolonyo, I'll read that one after you pick Francis's call.
All right, Francis, hello, good morning. Hello, Francis, are you still on the line?
Anyway, if he's not, let me read Dizoba Martin's message. He says that was so shameful of Anot Dompre for destroying public properties. All the videos are there to show that he was the genesis of this whole thing with his micro-minority leader, Honorable Alexander Kwamena Apenyo Markin. With all due respect, leader, Mahama Ayariga must make sure they face the consequences and be dealt with accordingly. This is unacceptable of the Ghanaian taxpayer. All right, let's head to the phone lines now. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Francis, can you hear us?
Yes,
Okay, Francis, where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Tamale.
Okay, Francis, let's hear you, please. Francis, I think you're listening to us through the TV set. We do not appreciate that here because it gives us a terrible feedback. But are you going to read anything? Do you have messages?
Yeah, I have a couple of messages. This one is coming from Chief Mante up in Akosombo alongside the wife, Vivian. Vivian, I wish you well, Auntie Vivian. He says, good morning, Roland, Cookie, Helen, and the rest of the team.
Good morning.
Thank God for another opportunity. Please, based on what happened in Parliament yesterday, I think before any person is voted to represent us as a parliamentarian, the person should be sent to a psychiatric hospital to check whether or not they are of sound mind. Please read this for me and forward it to the Constitutional Review Committee.
There's a caller on the line, Helen.
There is indeed. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, who's speaking?
Yeah, good morning. This is Osman calling from Savilo.
Okay.
All right. How would you describe yesterday in one word?
Well, what I can say is that our people have disappointed us.
Okay.
They have disappointed us to an extent of, look, that particular damages that was forced, no, they should make to pay that particular damages. Because the whole Ghana, the whole country, the whole world was looking at them. So to the extent of they, destroying microphones, stripping off the chairs, I think it's quite unfortunate. And you see, we are having, a chairman who cannot buy. That is the reason why all these kind of things are happening. Look at what they are doing. It's quite unfortunate. Embarrassment. These are honorable members. So all what I have to give them is, it is finished. It is finished. At all.
Okay.
What's on them. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It is finished again.
He said it is finished. I was going to ask what was finished, but...
Jidula Agbe says, those MPs who destroy the state properties must pay 100 times for them. What kind of life are they showing the young ones as leaders? Suraz Batong says, this is horrible. Members of Parliament, not honorable. Okay, this is horrible members of Parliament, not honorable members of Parliament. Oh, wow. Another caller, sweetheart.
All right, let's get back onto the phone lines. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing? Who's speaking?
Hello. I'm Omar from Kitampo.
All right. Let's hear you.
Kitampo North. I just want to say hello to people. It was a disaster.
A disaster?
Legislators, they don't behave like that. They behave as if they are kids. It doesn't speak for purpose.
I mean,
so good morning to Papa Rule and,
good morning.
and yourself.
Good morning, good morning. You know where this takes me to the 8th Parliament. You remember that chaotic scene that erupted in the 8th Parliament when they were voting for the Speaker of Parliament, the Carlos Ahinkra, saga. Exactly. I mean, so to have this kind of repeat itself in the 9th Parliament, it calls for some attention. Yesterday, okay, Olivia is on the telephone lines. Hello, good morning, Olivia.
Good morning, Cookie. How are you?
Very well, thank you, Olivia. Where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Dormitory.
Okay, Olivia, I can tell the agitation in your voice, even though you're calm. Talk to us.
Cookie, you see, I wonder how this MPs will feel this morning after waking up to see what is happening on their phones and on TV. Are they honorable? How on earth could they be behaving like this? In the 8th Parliament, we saw the same thing happening. And now, voting. And leaders of the committee couldn't come to a proper agreement. So people we have an authority making laws for us are these people. I was looking at an MP who was trying to pull a table. He was pushing a table. I mean, are these people honorable? How do they feel this morning after all that they are seeing? It's about time that some of them bow their heads in shame. They should really bow down their heads in shame. This is not honorable. This is not honorable. Okay. This is so uncalled for. I mean, how? We saw this thing from the beginning of the 8th Parliament to the last end of the 8th Parliament. And this is another beginning. What is that? Are there no men and women? I'm sorry. I was ashamed. I was covering my face when I was watching it. I mean, how? Please,
Thank
go
you.
ahead with your program.
Thank you for calling us this morning. Guy G says, babyish juveniles. Wow. Babyish juveniles. That's serious, right? That's really serious. Anyway, Honorable Saibu Makari Mogu says, foolishness and stupidity is what I would describe what happened in Parliament. Raphael Apeji says, Roland, the incident was purely dishonorable and it was a low-leveled headed art. They have to pay for the cost of the damages. And Yofin Kruma says, a bunch of useless grown men. These words are harsh. Daniel Labuaji says, silly micro-minority. Yofin Kruma says, a bunch... Slow down this morning. Okay, so Reckless is also running through some of the comments. Akamfe Julian says, good morning, Roland. These are people who call themselves honorable. They will come and talk about post-election violence whilst they are demonstrating the same act. A whole MP behaving like, hey, okay. All right, overturning tables, and they expect us to call them honorable. Ghanaians are watching them and will definitely show them. Rolly, do you have any more messages?
Yeah, I have a couple of messages.
So many of them on
I'll start
Facebook.
this one. This one is coming from Chairman Prosper. He says, what happened is silly, distasteful, and a disgrace to Ghana's democracy. I truly fear for the future of the NDC and the precedent these deliberate acts by Penyo Markin is doing to the youth and young people. It looks as if the front runners who led the campaign to bring NDC to power in 2024 are being targeted in their ministerial vetting, with those who were front runners made to go scot-free, who were not front runners made to go scot-free. This will put fear into the youth in future elections. Everybody will now be afraid to fight for the NDC because they will be intimidated when they come before such a committee. This must be stopped. Just look at Kwame Agboja for Rhodes, Dr. Attoforson, Dr. Omani, Sam George, and the long hours they are drilled and harassed at the committee vetting. Roland, this is not fair and should not be allowed by the chairman. Even campaign videos and posts on social media have been used. What kind of disrespect is this? NDC leadership must stand up and they must show that they have a majority of 188 members in parliament, not these chicken behavior. Oh, chicken behavior, Chairman Prosper.
Charlie, but this was terrible. I mean, look at the scenes. I mean, these are honorable members of parliament acting as though this was the end of the world. I mean, there's no way you can defend this. Absolutely no defending.
Why we always resort to combat instead of compromise.
You know, yesterday, I can understand that they were very exhausted, especially because of how long some judges' vetting took.
Now who caused some?
Bidem caused some now. But is there anything we can do about the number of questions the ranking member can ask on the vetting floor? Because it was unlimited, it was endless, and had it not been that they had a technical hitch when it came to playing of the videos, I'm sure it would have gone past 6 hours or
I think it all truly, I have to agree with Chairman Prosper and the rest of the people, it has got to do with the chairman.
It's
if the chairman is not able to
I think I have to eat back my words.
What did you say?
I think I said it might have been.
I mean, yesterday he was better, but
yesterday he was better. He hasn't been consistent in his leadership style. I think on Monday I was taking up for him because I didn't like some of the additives being used on him, calling him weak and the rest. I said he's assertive in a different way. But yesterday, as the chaos was ensuing around him, he was sat there
he wasn't firm, right?
I mean, because yesterday, for example, Penyo Markin had about 3.5 hours to himself to grill, as it were, Sam George.
And grilling.
And when he finished, when he was satisfied with the grilling, had his day, he got up, the day was over. The chairman should have said, no, you can't have your way. Have 3.5 hours, ask every and any question, and then when you are satisfied, the day is done. We have to limit, I don't know what the chairman is going to do to limit some of this. I mean, it became a cross-examination in parts yesterday, very tense atmosphere.
And it got very personal. It felt like an attack on the person of Sam George, not the designation that he's been nominated for.
Yeah.
But anyway, Johnny is biting. Let's cross over.
Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup runneth over, and surely Goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. Assalamu alaikum. It's Friday, the final day of January. Welcome to Johnny's Bite, and Juma Mubarak to all our Muslim brothers and sisters. When you pray for Ghana. Now, you know how even assemblymen in this country insist that we must call them honorables. And sometime earlier this year or last year, I don't remember immediately when, I met a senior citizen of this republic who had returned from the UK, and he told me not to call them honorables. And these were members of parliament he was talking about. And yesterday, the members of parliament who are paid by you and chosen by you, UQ, to stand in the sun and the rain, whatever it is, you voted for them. And they did the most dishonorable things on live TV. I was watching TV with my boys when the thing happened. The elder boy asked me a question. I couldn't answer the question, so we switched off the TV and went to sleep. So dishonorable. Look, let's begin. First of all, show me the first photo. Just put it up there. Just put the photo up there. We'll tell you. And I've told you here before that, look, the political class who wants all the respect and all the dignity and all the accolades. No, show me the first photo, please. Follow my lead. Baller in the House of Parliament. Baller. This was the after. Baller. When I tell you that Accra is dirty and is stinky and smelling and is dark, this is the evidence. In the House of Parliament, where the powers are exerted, we talk about standing orders and what have you, where they make the laws to regulate you and I, our lives. This happened in Parliament yesterday. Baller. You can see documents, you see takeaway packs, you see baller, parliamentarian. So honorable, honorable, honorable. Should we continue calling them honorable? It's a simple question I'm asking you. You give me the answer. Type it under the stream. We're live on 3FM 92.7 on Facebook and TV3 Ghana on Facebook. The hashtag is Johnny's Bite. I tweeted Hughes_on-air. This happened in Parliament yesterday. No be me talk. Now, show me the other one, the microphone. This microphone was bought with your money. This microphone you see was bought with your money. And this is destruction of state property.